Student debt is no joke. Now that that's out of the way, hey everyone, my name is Jack, and in this video I want to help you design a plan to pay off your student loans as quickly as possible. And I'm not talking about small amounts of student debt, but the super burdensome $50, $60, $100,000 debt load. If you like this sort of content, please leave a like below so you can let YouTube know to show it to other lovely people looking to make their finances better. It would also help me out a lot as well. I do have to let you know that I am a mere mortal and I'm not a financial advisor, and this video should not be taken as financial advice. But I do hope it can help you in figuring out how to tackle your student loans, especially if you're unsure about how to approach them at all. I want to outline a scenario that's becoming all too common nowadays. You decided to attend a four-year university, and after living on campus every year and certainly enjoying your time while you were there, you ended up racking up $100,000 in student loans to finance your education. Or lack thereof, am I right? You finished with a bachelor's in creative writing, or communications, or gender studies, or dance, or history, or any other degree that probably won't net you a substantial pay raise once you graduate, if any at all. To keep this example as steady as possible, I'll assume that you moved to Chicago, Illinois for your job after graduation. I'm more familiar with that market and the cost of living there, seeing as though I live in Chicago right now and moved there right after graduating myself. Cost of living and salaries will differ in each region, though typically areas that offer higher average salaries have higher average cost of living anyways, so it mostly cancels out. If you got an economically worthless degree like any of the ones I mentioned already, you probably will struggle to find a job in Chicagoland that pays you more than about $40,000 per year. And this is when we're not in a quarantine season. Ask me how I know. Thanks for asking. I graduated from the University of Illinois, which is a pretty decent school, with a degree in history and economics. And I even picked up a business minor to try and mask my history degree portion. It didn't work very well. Despite having solid grades and extracurriculars, most of the higher paying jobs in Chicago that I was going for often went to people with finance majors, not lowly history or economics majors like me. Most everything that I was getting interviews for was in the $40,000 per year price range. I ended up getting a job working in the property management office at a large condo community in downtown Chicago, a job that only required a high school degree. And I was paid, you guessed it, $40,000 per year. So let's say you got your degree, racked up the debt, and you land a $40,000 per year job working as an office administrator, maybe even a job at a well-paying nonprofit, or some other median income job. How will you ever pay down your $100,000 in student loans? The first thing that you need to do in tackling your debt is acknowledging that it is your fault and your responsibility. I don't say this to insult you. This is a very difficult step for many people. It can be very easy to point fingers and blame others for your debt load, but you have to restrain yourself from doing that. I understand that it is stupid that college is as expensive as it is in so many places. I understand that there are pressures from family, friends, and others to attend an expensive school. But once you turn 18, you do gain the freedom to say no. No one can force you to go to college and take on student loans. Even if it is difficult to say no, you can still say it. If you did not want to go to college, then you did not need to ultimately. Similarly, if you made a mistake in attending school, you have to own it. Was it dumb to fork over six figures to get a degree that adds nothing to your potential salary after school? Yeah, probably. But that doesn't change the fact that it happened. You need to acknowledge this if you are to ever pay down your debt. More and more people are demanding that the government forgive their student debts, even if you think that would be a good idea. It's dangerous to assume that that will actually happen. Your fate will be in someone else's hands if you do, which can backfire very easily. Any potential loan forgiveness should be looked at like a bonus, not a guarantee. And if you're happy with your decision to go to school and take on the debt, well then that's great. That doesn't erase the debt, but it does help with the process. You also have to understand that paying this debt off is doable, even if it may be uncomfortable. And that responsibility to pay it off is yours. One way or another, you promise to pay back the government or the bank or whoever gave you the money to pay for school. Now that you have the right attitude in approaching your debt, whether you like it or not, you can get to chipping away. But how do you do that on a median salary? Your debt load in this situation is $100,000 at, let's say, 4% interest per year. On a 10-year repayment schedule, that puts your minimum payment somewhere around $1,050 per month. That's a pretty hefty chunk of your income already. So what's next? How do you even live? Well, let's take a look at two situations. In the first situation, you find the cheapest one-bedroom apartment in the West Loop, one of the hottest neighborhoods in Chicago with lots of new developments. It's $1,100 per month. Add on $200 per month in utilities, $200 per month in groceries, $100 per month in retirement contributions, because you're a responsible adult after all, $100 phone bill, $15 for your favorite streaming service, $100 gym membership, $150 for your work-subsidized health insurance, $250 per month for fun and frolic, $50 for variable expenses, and $18 left over. You don't have to pay for transit since you live very close to your job. Assuming you make just your minimum payments on your student loans, you'll have them paid off in 10 years. You won't really be able to change much since you don't have a lot of financial room without a major pay raise, but doing this for a decade will work. Then you'll finally be free just in time for your mid-30s, assuming you graduated when you were 22 or so and didn't take some extra time. In the second situation, you decide to live in a more modest area, but still pretty close to downtown. When you go further to the northwest in Chicago, just a few neighborhoods up, you are able to find a one-bedroom apartment for $850 per month. Still fairly close to all of that great nightlife you need. This time, you will have to pay for public transit, which comes out to $75 per month. Add on utilities, groceries, retirement contributions, your phone bill, streaming bill, gym membership, health insurance, fun and frolic, and variable expenses just as before. But now you have almost $200 left over each month, which you can throw directly at your loans in addition to your minimum payment. The extra $200 per month towards your student loans would shave off 2 years of loan payments. You'd cut down the time to pay off your loans by 20% simply by moving a few neighborhoods over. And that's 2 years of your life out of the grasp of student loans with not much of a change in your own quality of life in the meantime. What if you took this a step further? What if you got a roommate and split the cost of an apartment so that you were paying only $600 on your portion of rent, or maybe even lower depending on the size of the apartment? How much harder could it be to live like a college student for a couple more years? You just did it for 4. Obviously try to control your alcohol consumption this time, but you get the point. In this example, every additional $100 per month for the life of the loan that you use on your student loans shaves off a few months, even a year, off of your repayment schedule. That is a lot of time and interest saved in climbing the debt mountain. Why not suck it up for a few years so you can get to that much greater financial freedom so much more quickly? You can check out a student loan payment calculator in the description if you're curious and want to have a look for yourself depending on what your student loan debt is or will be. Now this is an overly generic example. Depending on your income and how you make your income, you might have a hefty tax bill each year. I assume that the $40,000 was after taxes, although you would get the standard deduction from the federal government and the interest portion of your student loan payment would largely be deductible, at least probably. I'm not a tax professional, so speak with one if you need tax advice. Everyone's situation is different. But even in the worst example, you were still able to pay your $100,000 in student loans while still having some cash left over for fun each month, and you were able to get through them. It took a while, but it's doable. Understanding your options in approaching your student debt is the first step towards beating them. In short, having a disciplined budget is critical for ramping up your student loan payments. I actually have a free budget template in the description below if you want to start developing your own plan for making student loan payments. You obviously don't have to use mine, but at least write it out so you can really visualize what it takes to get through this challenge. Once your loans are paid off, you can much more easily get into the fun stuff like investing, buying a home, a car, starting a business, or saving for whatever else you want in life, like a celebratory vacation. Once your student debt is gone, it's like you get an instant raise because you don't have to make those nasty payments anymore, and you'll be happy to have that weight off of you and your finances. Whether or not you found this video helpful, be sure to check out my affiliate links in the description below to get yourself 3 free stocks by signing up for Webull and Robinhood. You can sell those stocks right after getting them and close your accounts, and then you can use that money to pay off some student debt if you're so inclined. They're free stocks on free brokerages, so please get your free money. It might only be a few bucks worth of stocks, but I got $20 worth of stocks when I opened my Webull account, so you might as well take advantage of it too. You apparently can get a stock worth up to $1,400 when you open an account with Webull, and up to $200 when you open one with Robinhood. Let me know what stocks you guys get so I know if this promotion is a good one. Well, that's all I've got for you guys today. If you like this video, like it. since it helps the channel out a lot. If you want to see more content on personal finance, investing, real estate, and other similar topics, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new updates. I post new videos every single week and wouldn't want you guys to miss out. What's your plan for tackling your student loans? What do you plan on doing once they are paid off? Definitely let me know in the comments below, but until next time, take care.